Week 3 in the CFL as the Toronto Argonauts head to the City of Champions and take on the Edmonton Elks. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keys to the Game. Mike Hogan, Sean Bowen here with you as we get set for Sunday's clash between Edmonton and Toronto. Hoagie, first and foremost, let's go back.
First and foremost, in the CFL, we are the City of Champions.
Yes,
continue.
That's true. Let's go back. Well, speaking of champions, let's go back to Father's Day last Sunday, raising the banner. What an unbelievable crowd, what an unbelievable game. We want to give a big shout out to our Argonaut faithful who showed up in rows and made a ton of noise and really cheered on this team. That's something we really need this whole season moving forward, no?
I found it amazing how little light blue gear was in the stands at the beginning of the game and how much light blue gear was in the stands by the end of the game. People were going nuts for the new merchandise, and you could really tell.
It looks so good, too.
Oh, really sharp. So thank you, fans, for showing up and supporting the Argos. And if you don't think that rubs off on the players, you're nuts.
No, exactly.
That was, how many times have we gone into a game when Hamilton's been in town and it's been 60-40?
Yeah.
No, it was like 90-10.
Yeah.
It was almost all Argo fans. They came out for the jewelry. They came out for the unveiling of the banner, and they left with the 2 points to go home. It was a fantastic atmosphere, and even more importantly, a very big win to start the season.
I was talking to Andrew Harris after the win, and he was saying, he's like, the crowd was great from start to finish, and that's something that we need desperately the whole entire year. And I think we're starting to see that. I think we're starting to see that youth movement. Some of our new fans, our old fans. It's great to see. We can't wait to see you guys back Canada Day weekend as we face off against the BC Lions. But first, we got
Mookie and Damon will become all-time Argos,
so.
And that's going to be fun to have those two guys come back. There are 24 members of all-time Argo Club. Right now it's going to be 26. And two guys, the leading receiver in Argo history, and the guy that led us to the Grey Cup from an Argo perspective in 2004. So
I think needless to say, it's going to be a party at BMO the whole entire summer. So why don't you guys just come down for that? We do have a matter at hand first. Toronto, Edmonton. Mm-hmm. Let's also circle back. We'll go to Sunday's game. The defense. Offense wins championships. Offense wins games, Defense wins championships. Much like last year, that defense, phenomenal. This year, same thing. Robbie with a sack. Flo getting in the mix. Darius Pickett with 8 tackles. Winton picking up from where he left off with 4. Deshaun Amos with a pick as well. Needless to say, this defense is in fine form already. We're only in week 2.
Jordan
week 3,
Williams comes over, and Robertson Daniel, who's basically I think he's played 2 games in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. He's been injured. He gets back. He's healthy. PFF does its rankings, and he's the number 1 DB in the CFL. So I mean, there was a question early on about the depth of the secondary with the Argonauts. That secondary last game didn't have Robert Priester, didn't have Peters, didn't have Carnell. Like it's a deep group, and it's only going to get better as guys get healthy, and in Peter's case, get back into the lineup.
Okay, let's talk Sunday. Edmonton. We saw Chad Kelly's second start. Hat-trick of touchdowns. Played pretty well. Now he's going up against a pretty good defensive line, and Chris Jones led by Edmonton. What did you like from Chad last Sunday, and what does he bring to this week's matchup?
Here's what I loved about the game plan. Not just Chad, but like the offense as a whole, and Chad is reflective of this. What was the goal? Get out to a big lead. Mm-hmm. What did they do? They got out to a big lead. Chad in the first half had almost 200 yards passing in the first half. Then the hounds that you released in the first half get called back. And it's run. And the hounds that you release, the offensive line and the Thunder backfield with Ouellette and Harris, and they wore them down.
Yeah.
And the toughest thing to do in football,
simplifying the offense, though.
The toughest thing to do when you're an offense is to run the ball when the other team knows you're going to run the football, and the Argos were able to do that. That's not easy to do, and they did. Kelly, no turnovers, no interceptions. I think for a lot of young quarterbacks, it would have been, okay, I threw for almost 200 in the first. If I do the math, I'm going to be close to 400 yards. I'm going to throw more. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to keep burning them. No, that can create turnovers.
Yeah.
The high percentage passes, the running game was what was needed, and it worked. And they added more points in the second half. And the defense did its job, and the special teams with John Agerty, he was unbelievable. I don't know when they put the helium in the football before the game, but they must have, because some of those kicks into the wind. He had 2 net 60s on back-to-back kicks in the third quarter into the wind. Like everything you could ask for.
Yeah.
Boris had 1 shot, made it. Like everything you could ask for in that game, the Argos answer to the affirmative.
I think we've got to come up with a nickname for when you want to do your Australian accent again?
No, not
No, okay. We got to come up with a nickname.
I'm just happy you thought that was Australian.
We got to come up with a nickname for those bombs. I mean, those were something in special teams.
Well, we know that Aussie ruled.
Yes, but okay,
Aussie rules. See what I did there? Huh? Sorry.
He's here all week, folks. Let's also talk special teams, though. Darius Pickett. Inserted
Crazy.
himself into the special teams like no tomorrow.
He had a time span in the third quarter where I think he was in on every play.
Yeah.
Defensively and on special teams. Every time Ben Grant and I on the radio broadcast said the play, we finished, and Pickett's got the tackle. And Pickett's got the tackle. He's in.
This is a recording.
And he almost had the pick six.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure he wants that one back, but that would have just been icing on an already sweet cake. But he was dynamite. Like, it was just everybody. Like, you can start, picking apart and getting into the minutia, and the coaches did, trust me. But for a first game after a bye week, team had never played together before. Most of the starters didn't play very much in the preseason. I don't know how much more you could ask for an effort one. Now they've got to replicate it against a team that's struggling offensively.
It's fun to watch.
Oh, when they're going. Anytime you have a team that you cheer for that's going in any sport.
Yeah.
But since of our, we're kind of passionate about this team. When it's going, man.
It really did feel like on Sunday from kickoff that there was no chance they were losing this game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did it ever feel, even when Hamilton made I think it was 8-6?
You knew that this was just going to be a complete domination start to finish. And hey, it certainly helps when you get to, your biggest rivals watching you raise your 18th championship banner too and maybe slow them down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it for us. Week 3.
Yeah.
Beast Toronto. Edmonton.
This is not a gimme game by any stretch of the imagination. I talked to Coach Dinwiddie earlier in the week about the concept of the trap game, and he said very bluntly, it's too early in the season for that.
Well, that's your favorite line, right? There's no such thing as a trap game.
There's no such a thing as I hate. There's no trap game.
2% better every day. Go out there and win.
That's it.
Right?
That's all it takes.
7 o'clock Sunday, Toronto, Edmonton. I'll see you guys then.